it's just not one senior living. I think I want to be known as a senior living player, not in India, worldwide.
I want to ask two questions from you. It's like an unfiltered conversation.
I think my mother played a very influential role for me to look at my dad as God.
And what's one thing you wish more people knew about the behind the scene efforts that go into a real estate project? So before I begin our famous rapid fire questions, I want to ask two questions from you. It's like an unfiltered conversation. First, I want to know from you is I'm sure your father played a quite influential role in your life, especially when you entered this career. How would you say, or how would you summarize the kind of influence he had over you?
Oh, everything.
Mm.
The funny thing is, I think my mother did have more influence in some ways. I was always a mother's kid, mother's son. But my mother always made me look up to my dad. So he used to say, "Ki apne baap ki tarah bano," ki he was like this, he was like that. So I think my mother played a very influential role for me to look at my dad as God to me. Okay.
Mm.
So everything, I think he used to write cards to us, which used to say, "I don't expect anything from you, but just to expect you to be good human beings." So those kinds of things have been very, very instilled in us that being a good human being is critical. Doing good work is important. Being hardworking is very important. Giving back to the nation is very important. Taking care of the people you're responsible for is very important.
Yeah.
So he always used to say, "Ki tumko Ashana de raha hu. It doesn't run your house; it runs thousands of houses. So be very, very. So if you don't do hard work, then it's not worth giving Ashana to you guys. So it's got that instillment to us that we're responsible for a lot more people than ourselves, and that's the driver for us."
The Ashiana itself is a beautiful name. For you, what Ashiana stands for?
To me, it's my purpose. In my own life, is my purpose. I think I repeat that. मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, आशियाना रहना चाहिए. So to me, I think it's a very critical part of who I am. Uh, and I think for us, the company's purpose is to give. So we have a purpose which we say बेहतर जिंदगी का पता. And what means to us is anybody who's associated with Ashana, can we make their life a little better than what it used to be yesterday? And that's the driver of every day for us. That are we changing and making some improvements every day?
Also, I want to know, and I'm always curious to know this from the real estate developers, that whoever grows up as a kid, if you're from the background of army, IFS, you have a different childhood experiences. But when you have a father who has been entrepreneur from the beginning and who has taken a lot of risk and has gone through those challenges, how would you summarize your childhood experience while, being on those sites when he was looking out for those projects? Do you recall some experiences where you felt, what, this is something bigger, this is something better, where you are having the power to transform people's life?
I'm truly sorry. I don't remember anything like that. I don't think my dad used to just whenever there was we used to do very limited projects at the time. But I remember a couple of times I know JJ Rani had come and inaugurated a project called Ashana Gardens. But I was a kid. I didn't understand what was going on. I was just playing around and I thought, कुछ important चीज चल रहा है, अच्छा लग रहा है. I think कुछ dad ने किया है. One experience I remember is like I was talking to a friend of mine. And in Delhi, nobody knew us, right? So I was just telling him, my father is running Ashiana and things like that. So he said he went and he spoke to his bua, and his bua used to live in Jamshedpur. So उन्होंने बोला कि ये तो करोड़पति होगा. So that's how I got to know I'm rich. So that's the funnier part of the incident. But I don't think dad or mom ever kind of in the beginning ever put pressure on us on business. The pressure was always being good kids, I think, for all three of us. And business came later. I think my elder brother might have gone through a different experience because he was the elder kid, Marwari family, not me.
Great. So let's start with our rapid fire round, and I'll be asking you the questions, and you can't think too much. You have to immediately reply by whatever first thought comes to whatever I ask you. So I want to know your favorite aspect of real estate industry. What is your one favorite?
People. Customers. I love customers. I love employees. My energy goes to a different level.
Nice. If you could go back in time and give yourself, your younger self, one piece of advice before you were entering real estate industry, what that would be?
So whatever you learned in New York, it's nice, but
Hmm.
get to the Indian reality. So one of the biggest mistakes I did was I learned in NYU about owning assets
Hmm.
and wanted to own assets and rent them. We didn't have the money to own great assets, and we started owning Class B assets, which really backfired, and it wasn't a great idea.
And what's one thing you wish more people knew about the behind the scene efforts that go into a real estate project?
I think the amount of coordination you have to do. I think it's just crazy the to be transparent to the consumer on the
Mm,
product side, from the electrician, the plumbing, the architecture, the engineering, the number of players involved.
yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous. I never thought the number of parts which come in, the number of suppliers you have, the
Mm,
number of warranties you can give, the number of it's really backward integrated at a different level.
nice. How do you unwind and relax after a busy day at work?
I love sports.
Mm,
So for before COVID, I used to play squash a lot, which was a lot of fun.
mm,
Lately, I do gym and a little bit of walking. I kind of enjoy that. That's my time.
nice. What is your favorite book or movie that has, inspired you?
What kind of a movie?
Book or movie that has
So when
inspired?
I went to school in US, I went to a college, and the first like professor he showed us a movie for a class,
Mm,
and the movie was called Rudy. And there was this 5 feet 3 inch guy who made it to one of the football Notre Dame football team,
mm,
and that was just super inspiring. It just showed that nothing is impossible, and if you really believe in yourself, you can really, if you work hard, you can get it. So something which just still sticks to in my head.
and one thing on your bucket list that you haven't achieved yet.
I really want to. So from a work perspective, it's been. I really want to create a different kind of a senior living, and I think we're there. We're coming
Mm,
there. It's just not one senior living. I think we. I want to be known as a senior living player, not in India, worldwide. So that's a bucket list in my mind. It's
mm,
like if somebody wants to think about senior living, they won't just look at US or learn from Australia. They
mm,
would like to come to India to learn from us. So that's one part of the bucket list. And from a personal life level, I think. I love traveling. So South
mm.
America is part of a bucket list which I haven't done yet.
Again, South America, I know, but I want to ask this: beach vacation or mountain retreat?
So my wife loves beach vacations, so I end up in beach vacations most of the time. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm on a mountain retreat, which kind of missing. But I also love beach vacations, but
Mm,
we do so much beach vacation that sometimes I miss the mountains.
nice. So, if you could have dinner with any real estate industry legend, who would it be and why?
It's quite a few, yeah.
So, name two.
So in America, I wanted to meet John Erickson, which I did. So
Mm,
he used to run Erickson Senior Living
yeah.
Community, so which was part of the bucket list in a way. So I met him, I learned a lot from him. So
Mm,
that's kind of done. But so two Indian guys. I think one I really like KP Singh for his thinking. I think DLF has transformed itself a number of times to
yeah.
become a great player, and I think in between I wasn't liking what they were doing, but now I think they've just kind of recreation, and they're fantastic, and the way they can think is brilliant. And
Mm,
I would love to see how he thinks about real estate, and he's different from us where he does land banking and we don't. And I
mm,
want to just know what has been his hits and misses. He's written a book. I should read that, but I haven't done yet. And second, I think Oberoi reality here, the kind of
yeah.
margins he's able to drive in
Yeah.
his business in a Mumbai, which is a ferociously competitive market.
Mm,
It's quite impressive to see the kind of work he's able to do, the quantity of work he's able to do, and the margins he's able to drive. It's fantastic, and in a
agreed.
single market.
Agreed. So, any favorite, quote or mantra that motivates you on daily basis?
What a mantra! There's lots when I think of it, but I don't have a daily one. I think different days, different inspire me, but I think. I think Dad used to say, just work hard on being a good human being. It's not easy.
Mm,
The biggest things you have to be is that when it's hard times, how do you take a good decision? And I think in good times, everybody can take a good decision.
Yeah.
And it's the driver that in hard times, how do you take a good decision? And that's very challenging if you were to look at it.
Nice. And describe yourself in 3 words.
Happy, quite chilled,
Mm.
passionate.
What's your favorite memory from your childhood?
Favorite memory from my childhood? I love friends, so my
Mm.
memories end and start like with friends. So learnings from my father, fun with my friends.
Mm.
I don't know of one particular ones. I had many. Like it's like a college fest to me, and I remember just hanging out with my friends all the time, and that's so heading to a friend's house and just
Mm.
chilling was like my go-to, and I used to love that.
Nice. So, one skill or talent you wish you had?
I wish I was a great cricketer. Yeah.
Okay.
I love cricket as a game. I just love the way the game is played, and I wish I was better at it.
Your most memorable achievement or milestone at Ashiana Housing so far?
Uh, I think senior living again. I think
Mm.
making the first project successful and then taking a decision to do the second one in Bhiwadi and then coming into Chennai. I think
Mm.
all those kind of decisions have been something which I've been very happy, passionate about. The other I really enjoyed doing was writing a book on that and his learnings. So that was another thing which I really was close to my heart. Uh, yeah, I think those
Yeah.
two.
One thing people do not know about you, and if they would, they'd be surprised to know.
So in office, people think I'm an extrovert. I'm an introvert.
Okay.
I'm a very introverted guy. So I have
Mm.
what I've realized is there are situations where I flourish and there are situations where so if I go to a party, I like a corner where I can just meet one person and have a
Mm.
drink with him all evening. And most people in my office think that I'm an extrovert because of my sales and marketing personality, but that's only during that time. It's not on a regular day to day.
And future goals you're most passionate about achieving, I think, apart from the Ashiana Housing that you discussed earlier.
Future goals.
Can be personal even.
So in the so it's part of the personal and the professional. I want to make sure that as three brothers we are able to perpetuate the business more than us, bigger than us, much bigger than us. And how to do that is going to be one of the goals. And once I'm able to do that, how can I retire in a nice life, chill out, and still have purpose for myself, which is different from Ashiana. And that I would like to see. What kind of different things can I do? I want to do social work, but I'm not sure if I'm a guy who's truly driven or driven. I'm not sure about it. But there's something about me or something inside of me which says that I should do it. But if I really wanted to do it, I would have done it. That's what I know about myself. So I'm kind of confused about that. So that's an area which I want to kind of explore a bit more to see if it's truly me, where I have the emotions for it. Do I really have the heart for it or not? I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
Right. Last but not the least, I want to know, we have seen real estate changing and we have noticed young, generation getting into real estate, having positive outlook for real estate like we never saw before. What advice would you give to this young generation who is the aspiring, professionals who want to get into real estate?
I think that the thing Dad gave us was cash is king. Remember, cash is everything in real estate, so don't mess with cash. And don't be super aggressive where it sounds very good in the beginning. It can be a killer. So remember, aggression to a certain level is great. Over ambition can kill you.